Hey everyone, I'm Alex.
And I'm Courtney, and this is Nerds at Odds.
Nerds at Odds is your weekly podcast about all things in nerd culture and beyond. And if you want to get the show 4 days early, ad-free, and with the ability to submit your questions, comments, and concerns, head on over to patreon.com/nerdsatodds.
You can check us out on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at Nerds at Odds. You hang out mostly with me on Instagram.
You can rate and review the podcast wherever you listen. That helps us out a lot, helps us reach a broader audience. The more positive reviews we have, the more the algorithms and those services recommend us to people. So that would help out a lot.
And it lets us know if you like what we're doing or not.
Yeah, that would be great to know that people like what we're doing. Do you think one person listens who hates what we're doing but does it just to hate?
Well, we haven't gotten anything bad yet. People haven't told us that they hate it. Well, people have told us that they hate your rankings.
Yes, especially my Disney movies. So
yes.
That's why we have to do that Pixar ranking soon, so I can...
So our friends will hate you.
Yeah, I'm not looking to redeem myself. I want to double down. Cars is the best Pixar movie. I'm going to put it out there right now.
You're not. No, you're not.
So let's get on into what we've been up to. Courtney, what have you been doing?
I've been watching a lot of Murder, She Wrote. I've been knitting.
Yeah.
Working.
This seems like what you've been doing for the past couple weeks, honestly.
Probably. I watch a lot of Murder, She Wrote now.
And since we talked about this last week, a lot about Murder, She Wrote, I feel. We didn't really get on into what you're actually knitting, I don't think. So why don't you tell the audience about what you've been working on knitting-wise?
Yeah, so I finished my blanket that I've been working on for years now.
Yeah.
Because I'm using, like, small, little yarn that's, like, there's, like, this brand of yarn called Big Red Heart. And they have, like, this very standard size yarn. And if anyone knits knows what I'm talking about. I use mostly that because I was trying to get rid of all my, like...
It was some excess leftover yarn.
Yeah, essentially. But, of course, I bought yarn that I thought would look pretty in it afterwards. So I finished that. Took forever. And now I am working on an infinity scarf. It's going to be Hufflepuff colors.
Yeah.
Also our school colors, which was just serendipitous.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what an infinity scarf is, what is an infinity scarf?
So it's basically just a normal scarf, but it is a circle.
Yeah.
So that you can, like, grab it, do a figure 8.
Yeah, or an infinity symbol. That might be why it's called an infinity scarf.
And then put it together and then put it over your head, and it's like double scarf warmth.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, this one's made of, like, fleece, which is mostly acrylic, I think, and then also just, like, a less fleecy acrylic.
Okay. And about Murder, She Wrote, real quick, I think we probably need to do an episode in the future about these crime shows, because we watch a lot of them.
Yeah, we got Psych.
Yeah, Murder, She Wrote, Elementary,
Criminal Minds. Leverage, once I get you to watch it.
Yes. We try to watch that FBI profiling show, Mindhunter, I think. But I don't think we really got into that.
Yeah, we watched it for a little bit. It just kind of went off on a tangent a little bit.
Yeah. The thing with Paul Bettany, who's the Unabomber, is pretty good.
Yes.
That was really good.
That was really good. Yeah. I love Paul Bettany.
That's not a show, it's a miniseries, so... Apples to oranges, I guess, when you're trying to compare it to Murder, She Wrote or something that ran for 250 episodes.
But you don't like Murder, She Wrote.
It's just a bunch of old people.
Yeah, but clearly people enjoy it.
Well, there's tons of old people in the world.
Average of 30 million viewers.
Yeah.
In its time slot, which was Sunday nights.
Yeah. I think it came out in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. People love the show.
It's a popular show. It wouldn't be... It
won Golden Globes and Emmys.
It wouldn't be on Peacock if it wasn't, I feel like.
Listen, if there's a show that's not, like, people don't like, they're not going to be like, oh, we'll put it on this streaming service.
I feel like they might do that. There's tons of movies on Disney Plus no one ever watches, I'm guarantee it.
Sure, but that's because Disney was like, we own all this stuff, we'll put it up there. But it's not like you see that Cartoon Network show that they had for, like, maybe half a season called Tower Prep. That I actually enjoyed,
I have no clue what that is.
They only did one season because they were like, well, it's not cartoon, so we can't have it on there.
You have been playing one other thing recently.
Yes.
You've been playing Hogwarts Mystery?
I think that's what it's called. Hogwarts Mystery.
The phone game.
Yes. Where you do all the tapping and you have the energy,
Mm-hmm.
and you can change your outfit.
Yeah. What do you think of it?
I mean, I tried to get back into it. Luckily, it saved all my stuff after I deleted it, which was nice, so I didn't have to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
I was really worried I was going to have to start from the beginning. But I thought, I'll check it out again. They've added a lot of side quests, so
Yeah.
I've it's only been like half a day. But I've been working on those a little bit. I'm trying to become an animagus right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you think they've added enough to the game to make it fun to play?
I mean, you can do dueling, which is essentially like rock, paper, scissors
Ah.
with actual other people.
Interesting.
Some people, they keep just choosing like the same things.
Yeah.
Like, I did one, you can only do one every like 6 hours, 7 hours, or unless you pay gyms.
Yeah, of course.
And I was doing one with this one guy, and he just kept picking sneaky, defense, so you get sneaky, defensive, and aggressive.
Yeah.
And he kept choosing sneaky and defense. So I was just like, well, I know that you're gonna pick sneaky next, so I'm gonna do aggressive, and I know you're gonna do defense next, so I'll do sneaky. So you can kind of work out what people are doing.
Interesting. And how disappointed are you that the Hogwarts RPG that was supposed to come out this year got pushed back a year?
I'm very upset. I want them to work on it to be very good, not a lot of bugs.
Yeah, you don't want it to be cyberpunk when it comes
I don't want
out.
it to be cyberpunk, so take as much time as you need to get all the kinks worked out, because I want it to be a good experience. Also, don't do it like the Yule Festival stuff in Assassin's Creed and just have like the quest be way over there, like thousands of miles.
Yeah, tons of bugs.
But it's actually right here.
I get you. What do you think the most important part of that game should be? Would just being a student at Hogwarts for 7 years be enough?
I think that would be enough, honestly. But they're gonna do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's gonna be a bigger story, and I think they'd probably need that for the wider audience.
Yeah.
But I would love a game where you just make your student, and you go to class, and you just be a student, and nothing crazier than that happens. I would be totally down for
the
that.
The wizarding world is crazy enough without, the next Voldemort.
Yeah, you can go to Diagon Alley, you could have some story elements where, you have a rival in school or something,
Yeah.
But no huge villain or crazy secrets. I feel like that game's gonna have huge villains and crazy secrets, but I'd be down just to be a student for 7 years.
Yeah, in the Hogwarts mystery game, the crazy thing that happens, I'm in year 5, but I think that's mostly because I got in early and played for a long time, and then I quit in year 5. But the big mystery thing is what happened to your brother. Your brother's missing, so
There's that?
Yeah. So
do you think that Harry Potter Pokemon Go game's ever gonna become popular? Because you played it for a bit before.
We played it for a bit, and then we got out of it. It was just kind of like Pokemon Go, but you couldn't really see what you were clicking on.
Yeah. I also think now Pokemon Go has added so much that it's a really filled out game. There's a lot to do now in Pokemon Go, so maybe the Harry Potter game will get there, but I don't think the Harry Potter world translates as well to this style of game as Pokemon does.
Yeah. I wish we could play Pokemon Go more.
Yeah.
Because we haven't been able to play because
everything that's going on. We
were in a great spot too, because we're right next to the college campus.
Yeah.
So would have been great.
Shame. I have been playing Madden and Frostpunk. I'm excited the NFL playoffs, so I've been playing some Madden.
Sure.
I've been letting my team down big time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And Frostpunk, it's the same old thing I said last week. It's enjoyable. I've done about everything there is to do in the game at this point.
You're all about those micromanaging games.
Yeah. The Resident Evil 8 demo titled Maiden came out exclusively for PlayStation a day or two ago, and I got to get in on that because I am all about this vampire werewolf aesthetic they're going for.
And the internet's all about that vampire woman.
Yeah, that vampire woman.
I haven't seen anything about it. Literally, it's just people are like,
yeah,
oh, that vampire lady, and I'm like, I haven't seen the trailer yet. I don't understand.
I'll get Courtney to either watch me play it or play it herself.
I'm gonna watch some people play it, probably.
Yeah.
likely you at some point.
Mm.
I'm not gonna play it myself because I don't like scary games.
Well, I never played a Resident Evil before 7, and the demo for Resident Evil 7 made me buy the game, and I loved 7. So I'm really excited about 8.
Welcome to the family, son.
Yeah, I love that aesthetic, the New Orleans, like, bayou, weird family aesthetic. Mm-hmm. That was a great setting, and now it seems like they're switching to something completely different, which also I really like. So I'm totally into this. I haven't played any of the third-person ones, like 1 through 4.
Mm.
The third-person ones, like 1 through 4.
Yeah. You just said that.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Okay.
You said the third-person ones, like 1 through 4, and I said, uh-huh. And you were like, the third-person ones, like 1 through 4. And I'm like, yep.
Yep. So, I mean, I tried playing 1.
The remake?
The remake, but 1, the remake isn't remade like 2 and 3. It's still the game, just with better graphics, so it has the crappy tank controls.
Sure.
And it's hard to play.
Well, and I've heard they cut stuff out of some of them and, like, did some other stuff, so...
Yeah, apparently the third one has a lot cut out.
Yeah.
I'm not really into that, but I'm totally into this first-person Resident Evil 8.
I like watching people play it.
Yeah?
I have fun. I watched probably, like, 2 or 3 people play the remakes.
Yeah, we watched Michael from Achievement Hunter play 2, I think.
Yeah.
And I think we watched Mark play 3. Markiplier?
I've watched multiple of them play multiple of them.
Because I feel like Markiplier forgot to bring the weapon he needed for that boss fight in 3.
Yes, and he used a pistol a lot.
Yeah, it took him hours or something to beat it. It's crazy. Yeah. We've also been watching more Psych on Peacock.
Lots of Psych.
We're almost to season 5. It's a great show. You guys should definitely go watch it.
It's all free.
It's
and
all
the
free.
Movies as well.
Yes. With ads on Peacock, but the ads aren't intrusive like we say every week. We should really get a Peacock sponsor because I feel like we're shouting them out a lot.
It's also really helpful because it's not like, oh, we don't have to sit through 3 minutes of ads while watching our show.
Yeah.
It's like
YouTube has worse ads.
Yeah, it's like a 15-second ad and...
Yeah, you're back in. But you guys should really go watch Psych. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I enjoy how it doesn't really have a through line, honestly. There's no main villain a season. There's no looming threat. It's just these characters are what drives the show, and I like all the characters. So
yeah, it's mostly the romance, will they, won't they, of Juliet and Sean.
Yeah, which, I mean, they don't harp on every episode. They might bring it up once or twice a season, up until now, because they're about to get together, so they're talking about it more in the show. But they don't bring it up that often. It's just, I like all the characters, and it's a real fun show. I think that's the drive of it.
Yeah.
I've also been rewatching The Office. Made it through season 1. So, that's cool.
You are contributing to the problem that is The Office taking over the world.
Yeah. It's a good show.
It's a great show.
When I initially tried to watch it back in the day, maybe even back when it was still airing new episodes, I didn't like Michael that much. But I think that I have grown accustomed to understanding that he's not the person you're supposed to laugh with or really connect to in a way. He's like this absurd dude you're laughing at.
Yes.
And I think that's why the show works still. And
you're laughing at the reactions that people have to him.
Though the person you're supposed to connect with is Jim.
Yeah.
And Jim's a horrible dude.
He's not horrible.
Dwight is eccentric, but I feel like Jim in the show is mean to Dwight for no reason.
Well, Dwight's mean to him frequently for no reason.
But I don't know who started it, you know?
I suppose.
It just seems like, I don't know, he seems a bit mean-spirited picking on Dwight this often. Now, let's get on into our spoiler-free review of WandaVision.
Sure. We
watched episode 3 recently. What did you think?
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Some stuff happened.
It's finally ramping up.
It's ramping up.
I concur. I think there's a reason why critics got the first 3 episodes to watch before they reviewed those episodes.
Yeah.
Because episode 3 really gets into where the show is probably going to go.
Yeah.
I think that I would enjoy the show more if it drops this trying to be a certain era's sitcom. You know?
Well, here's what I'm thinking, right? So, like, the first 2 episodes were sort of, like, 50s-ish.
Yeah.
This one was, like, 70s, 80s. I could see going forward maybe doing, instead of just like sitcoms, they could do like sort of like cop show sort of aesthetic, or like something along those lines.
Maybe.
You know?
I just really
But it's like, back in those times, it was really just like sitcoms.
Yeah. I just want to know what's going on and understand that, and to see how they resolve that. I don't think the show's going to get a second season. Not because it isn't good, but because I feel like the actors are huge actors. And they don't seem the type to want to do multiple seasons of a show like this. So I feel like it's just going to be one season, so I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I love I love Wanda, I love Vision.
Yeah,
I love
Paul
the characters,
and,
I love the actors.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes. I love that's why I said Wanda and Vision first, and then I was going to go into the actors, because I love them both. You can separate the people and the actors. Sometimes.
I don't like the characters that much.
I think they're great.
Yeah?
Yes.
I'm interested to see if they come back for any Marvel movies after this.
They might. They probably will. Money.
Perhaps, maybe. I mean, Chris Evans was rumored to be coming back, but he kind of shot that down.
Well, he was like, no.
I haven't heard this.
He wants to do other stuff. But I don't know, like, they're on a TV show.
Yeah.
Clearly they like the characters. They want to continue doing the characters.
Well, Chris Evans has been doing Captain America longer than they've been doing theirs.
Yeah.
So.
And he was, like, superhero material before that.
Here's my pitch for Chris Evans coming back to the Marvel Universe in a movie, right? Have you ever seen the TV show Agent Carter?
No.
It's the woman he ends up marrying.
Sure.
And I really like that. It's in the 40s and 50s. She's I don't know if she's not the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., but she's like an agent there.
Mm-hmm.
And she works with like Tony Stark's dad and all that. And it's a pretty cool show. I think it got 2 or 3 seasons. I would want to see her movie of her and those characters in that show doing something. And he's there as like stay-at-home dad. And he's like, in a cardigan cooking breakfast or something. He makes like maybe more than a cameo side character, but he doesn't have to be buff Captain America. He's just like Steve Rogers doing household stuff, and she's the star. That's how I would pitch his return to the universe. It'd be cool.
No, I think he just, like, with Knives Out being one of his, like, his main ones after the MCU thing, I think he wants to explore the more comedy roles.
Perhaps.
I think that's more of his personality.
Yeah. He's really good as Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four, and I feel like
fun character.
And I feel like that character's a lot like his Knives Out one. So it's interesting to see where it's going to go from here.
If you haven't watched Knives Out, highly recommend.
Highly recommend. And real quick, I mean, while we're on this tangent, who do you think out of the MCU is going to be like the breakout star? Because a lot of them are still stars. I mean, like, who's going to be do the biggest movies after?
I have no idea. I know Tom Holland's got stuff in the works.
Yeah, he's doing the Uncharted movie for Sony.
He's doing the
Uncharted
Uncharted
video
movie.
Game movies are trying to
There's that
so.
movie, I think, is someone else is in this movie. It's this movie where it seems like there's only men in the world, and you can hear all their thoughts, but you can't hear the woman's thoughts. I can't remember what this movie's called. And there's also, like, these bad guys that are chasing them.
I know you're talking about Daisy Ridley, who plays Raisin.
Yeah, she's in
and
it.
And Tom Holland's in it.
Tom Holland, but I think there's, like, it's either, like, Nick Jonas or, like, Chris Evans or something.
I think it's Nick Jonas. I think it's Nick Jonas.
And I really want to watch it.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
I haven't heard anything in a while from it, but I want to watch it.
Yeah. So, check out WandaVision on Disney Plus if you have it. I mean,
really good. I liked it. If you don't like it, don't sue me.
You don't have to buy the show. You can just get Disney Plus. There's plenty to watch if you don't like the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nerds at Odds is made possible by our supporters over on patreon.com/nerdsatodds. If you want to become a member of our community and gain access to the show 4 days early, gain the ability to submit your questions, comments, and concerns, and so much more, consider supporting us over there. Thank you. Now into the topic of today's show. We're gonna talk about the first 2 Harry Potter movies and books, compare them, and all of those good things, and say which ones we think are better. Now, off the bat, I'm gonna throw it out there. I think the first 2 Harry Potter movies are better than their book counterparts.
I always think the books are better.
let's talk about the movies first in their own right, because I kind of want this series to be our ranking of Harry Potter movies as well.
Sure.
So I think the first movie's better than the second movie solely because I like being introduced to that world a lot.
Yeah, I think the first movie might be better. I mean, I love the actor who plays Gilderoy Lockhart.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a bunch of stuff. He's a great British actor.
Yeah.
And he's in a bunch of films of Shakespeare plays. So, Much Ado About Nothing, Henry V, those sorts of things. Yeah. And Much Ado About Nothing is one of my favorite adaptations. It's got Cate Blanchett, Keanu Reeves, Denzel Washington.
I just can't picture Keanu Reeves being good in this movie.
He is. He's really good. He plays like brooding and evil. He's the bad guy. I think his name is like Don Juan or something.
Keanu could pull off brooding and evil. I just see him. He's always Keanu in his movies, I feel.
I think Keanu is Denzel's half brother.
Interesting.
Which is a little weird when you're thinking about it.
Keanu's a bit pasty to be Denzel Washington's half brother. I get it. Yeah.
So, but it's really good. And there's some other like fairly bigger actors, but I can't remember their names.
If you like Gilderoy Lockhart so much, why don't you like the second movie more?
I do. I love the second movie. Yeah. I love the Dumbledore in the first two movies. Mm-hmm. He's my favorite. But I think the first movie and book are better because you get to introduced into the magical world and you get you're learning all this stuff with Harry and you're experiencing it all for the first time.
Yeah. Well, I think the first movie's better than the second movie because you get introduced to the world. But I think the second book's better than the first book because I feel like the first book has a lot of Harry being with the Dursleys. And I hate those people for being so mean to Harry. And they cut a lot of that out in the movie.
Are you one of those, do you know the story of the people
like children cry and run away from the actors? The people that play
the Dursleys, they're like walking down the street and like children are just pointing and crying at them.
Yeah, so I don't like being around them on screen or reading about them. And I think like 100 pages of the Sorcerer's Stone is about Harry with the Dursleys, and I'm glad they left a lot of that out of the first movie.
Well, I mean, you still get a whole lot of it, and you see like one of the more atrocious things from the Dursleys in the second movie.
That is true, but he gets the escape from that room and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, he walks out in the third movie.
True.
He's just like, bye.
But we're not talking about the movie.
Okay, fine.
So
I think the first one's better, in my opinion.
Yeah?
Yes.
So let me throw my thesis argument out there.
Also, Hermione's not in the second one as much, because she gets petrified.
True. So let me throw my thesis argument type thing out there for if I think a movie is better than the book, right?
Okay.
I'm not saying that the movie is as detailed, and I'm not saying it has as many all the same great moments the books have, but if a movie can successfully synthesize the essence of a book down, then I feel like I think it's better than the book because of the time you spend with each product to get the same end, basically. You get everything Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets has to tell you in those movies without having to sink the time to read it.
No, but they change stuff that they don't need to change, and then they put in stuff that they don't need to put in, but they take out other stuff that is important to other people.
I think I don't have each individual moment that's different in front of me, but going movie by movie, the thing of Sorcerer's Stone that the movie does better, I think, is not having Harry go back to the Dursleys after Diagon Alley.
That's fine.
Hagrid.
No one's like, oh, I love that part of the book where he's like, I went back for the rest of the summer, and the Dursleys just pretended I wasn't there. That doesn't.
But
it's barely a part.
It's a chapter or two of a book.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's like a whole chapter of this book.
It's not a whole chapter of he going back. That does not happen.
And then they take Dudley to the hospital and.
No, they don't. They take Dudley to the hospital when they're taking Harry to go to the platform.
Well, they have it.
You don't understand. No, you're just... Listen, the first part of the book, where they're avoiding Harry getting into Hogwarts, where they're like, no, we don't want you to have the letter. That takes longer. But after he goes to Diagon Alley and then comes back, it's like him being like, oh, the Dursleys didn't want to hang out with me very much and just pretended I wasn't there. And anytime I entered a room, Dudley was like, oh, and then ran away.
Yeah.
That was it.
Also in the first book, you have a chapter on Vernon's job and him walking home or getting a sandwich. Whatever he does, and he sees, like, the wizards in the corners and stuff, like... You don't need all that.
Okay, no. So the first part of the book is not just be like, oh, what he sells drills for one. Okay,
exciting.
He sells drills. If you didn't know. Anywho, the first part is just being like, oh, these people are normal people, and it's just like the lead up to Harry being dropped off at their place.
Yeah.
Sure, they can cut that out. That's fine. Nobody's like, I need that moment. Nobody in the history of the book
I'm saying,
is like, I want that moment back.
I don't have the full list in front of me about what they took out, but I'm just using those as examples. And
Nobody cares about those parts.
But I'm saying, and I'm sure there are more that I can't remember right now from the book that they leave out that are not necessary to the story, and that's why I think the first movie is successful. And being better.
No, because there's like plenty of stuff that is important later on in the books that they just forget about. Like Peeves. Peeves is an important character later on in the books. You've got lots of the ghosts who are important later on in the books, and they're just like, well, we have some ghosts. See, there's Nearly Headless Nick, because he's kind of important in the second book, so we'll bring him back so you can see him get petrified in the second one, right?
I think the two ghosts that are important, Mona Myrtle and Nearly Headless Nick.
There's 3 ghosts that are important.
Who's the
Grey Lady, but you don't see her in the first one.
Well, I was just saying those two.
But the Bloody Baron, I believe, killed the Grey Lady, so that's why he's important. And also, the Bloody Baron is the only person that Peeves is scared of. And you've got the Fat Friar, who is the Hufflepuff ghost. And it's just, it hurts me.
It hurts you?
It hurts me. They leave out characters, and they just only focus on the Gryffindors and the Slytherins, and they don't care about the Ravenclaws and the Hufflepuffs. And, I mean, in the books, they're not very present, but they are important. So, like, in the first book, Harry is playing Quidditch with all the peoples, right? Mm-hmm. And they don't tell you that Quidditch team lost the House Cup, or the Quidditch Cup, because they lost to the Hufflepuffs.
Yeah.
But they're like, Hufflepuffs don't matter. Who cares about Hufflepuffs?
Why would they tell you that when Hufflepuffs don't matter?
The Hufflepuffs do matter. There's great Hufflepuffs. Justin Finchley, I think, is a Hufflepuff.
I think.
I can't remember.
There was not one...
And he's important later.
I mean, even in the books, there was not one...
Did they turn him into a Gryffindor?
I think in the movies he's Gryffindor.
I think they might have turned... The one that gets...
Petrified the Camera.
No.
No? Not him?
No, he's the first year in the second movie. I think it's the boy who is with... They're doing the dueling club.
Yeah.
Right? And Harry speaks to the snake, and the snake is turned into, like, Justin Finchley.
Is he the one who explodes when he's trying to do Wingardium Leviosa?
No, that's Seamus.
Yes, Seamus.
Who is a Gryffindor, Seamus Finnegan.
Well, I have no clue who you're talking about right now. And that's why he doesn't matter.
The black-haired boy.
Doesn't matter. I'm just saying, even in the books, Hufflepuff and Ravenclaws do not matter to the story.
They do. Yes, they do.
There's one Hufflepuff that matters, and it's because he's a spare.
I can't believe you're forgetting about your favorite character,
Luna Lovegood,
who's a Ravenclaw.
She is my favorite character. She doesn't matter.
She does matter.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does. She's a very important
What's
character.
What's she do?
She shows Harry that she treats Harry as a normal person. Everybody else treats Harry as, like, high up on the pedestal kind of guy.
Yeah.
But she's just like, oh, you're a normal guy, you know? And he, like, protects Luna.
I just don't think that matters.
It does matter. They put her in the movie.
Yeah, they put her in I don't know, that's like the number of characters that matter in the story are very
and
small.
They're like, oh, we could have it so that the Gryffindors, so the Ravenclaws and the Hufflepuffs get more screen time when they're supposed to, like in movie 2, in Herbology, when they have the mandrakes, which are important to the story, because they unpetrify the people with the mandrake root.
Yeah, but you don't need a whole scene. I think a line of dialogue.
No, but they're supposed to hang out with the Hufflepuffs in that scene, and you've got, like, for some reason they were like, well, we're gonna put Draco Malfoy in the
Because Draco's important.
He's not important in that scene. They could have just had a bunch of Ravenclaw, like Hufflepuff students be there, and it would have had the exact same effect.
Except you wouldn't see Draco, who is one of the very few characters in
All
this movie.
All he does is he pulls up a mandrake and he goes, and then he tries to stick his finger in its mouth and it bites him.
Yeah.
And then he slams it into a pot. That's all that happens. That's it.
Yeah.
You could have done that with Hufflepuffs.
I think also there's something we might be forgetting logistically is casting all these children and...
They had tons of extras. None of these kids had to say any lines. It's not like they have earmuffs in that scene. No one can hear each other. They don't need lines. Draco doesn't say anything.
But he's there.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm just saying, there's a bunch of characters even in the movies you could cut out and nothing would matter. So, I mean,
there's tons of characters that it's just, it would just work so well. Also, the kid with the camera, yeah. I think his name is Colin.
Maybe.
He is a Gryffindor.
Oh, see? There you go, important character.
He is No, he's not. He just gets petrified.
Yeah. Also, I think we have to take into account, I think the first movie is like 2 hours and 45 minutes long. So...
Well, they also, like, changed a bunch of stuff with the trials to get the Sorcerer's Stone. So they cut out the potion scene completely.
Which I think is probably because it might be hard to pull off and be entertaining on screen.
No, I think it would be fine. It just shows more how intelligent Hermione is, because it's not just like, she's not just book smart. She's also very good with logic puzzles.
That is true, but I think throughout the series they hammer that home.
Sure, but I think it's fine. But they also just make Harry seem like he's just dumb and along for the ride, and Harry's actually a very smart student. Not as smart as Hermione, but he's fairly intelligent.
Even when I was reading these books originally as a kid, I always thought that Harry's an average dude. Like, he's an average dude. He's getting C's and B's in all his classes, and he's just, that's why he's relatable.
Sure, Ron and Harry, they let Hermione look over their work and then she corrects it. But they're still doing the work.
Yeah, and I also got the impression, like, Ron is, like, a step away from failing out of Hogwarts.
He's not a step away from failing.
I mean, if Crabbe and Goyle can stay enrolled...
That's because they've got their daddies who are big wizards.
Yeah.
Big boy wizards.
Yeah.
They still have that dark wizard pull, pure blood nonsense. Yeah. And also, like, it doesn't make any sense in the second movie. So Draco calls Hermione a mudblood, right? And Ron gets all upset. And they go to Hagrid's because Ron is spitting up the slugs.
Yeah.
And Hermione's like, she called me a mudblood. That means dirty blood. I'm like, you wouldn't know this. And in the book, she doesn't know what it means. Ron has to explain it. But they're like, Ron's stupid. He can't explain anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's throwing up slugs at the moment.
No, he explains stuff.
Why is the incantation to make people throw up slugs eat slugs? There's no thought in that.
I'm pretty sure there was an actual incantation, but in the movie he just goes eat slugs.
Well, I mean, we saw in Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald. Maybe J.K. Rowling's not the best at coming up with some names.
Well,
Can't spell. Oh, I'll never. Why'd you leave that one in the movie?
I'm pretty sure that she didn't write the whole of the movie.
No, I'm just joking about can't spell.
It's just dumb.
Can't believe they left
That's
that in.
dumb. But it's just, there's just so much that they could have not changed. It would have been basically the same. Hermione's explaining what mudblood is. They could have just had Ron explain what mudblood is.
But Hermione's the person who explains things.
He's the one who explains it.
Ron's the one who throws up slugs.
And Ron explains a bunch of stuff to Harry about the magic world, but they're just like, nah.
I feel like we kind of get that on the platform.
Not really. Yeah. No, they just eat a bunch of candy.
That checks out. He tells them how the frog works.
Listen, in the books, the frogs don't jump away.
That's worse. It's better that they jump away.
I mean, it's entertaining that they jump away, but they could have cut that out and added something else that was
magical.
Actually in the book.
They added something that's better than in the book.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
So
it's just an excuse for them to sell subpar chocolate.
Yeah. That Super Carlin Bros episode really disappointed me that most of the stuff at the candy shop in Universal's
Hogsmeade.
Yeah, is subpar.
Mediocre.
Yeah. In the second movie, the big thing that they cut out that I'm fine with is the Death Day party. Because I felt like that whole chapter was filler in the book.
I mean, it is, but it explains why, like, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are out. And there's just things that are important. It's like, they don't explain a lot of stuff, and they're just like, oh, well, we'll just leave this out. And it annoys me. It's like when I watched this movie in theaters, me and one of my best friends, she drove, we went to the movie theater, it was like an hour and a half away.
Nice.
To watch the movie Beautiful Creatures, because we read the books, we loved the books, and they cut out characters and they combined characters, and they just ruined it. It was destroyed. I hated it. The whole ride back, we were angry.
I've left movie theaters angry before. I think with Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, Last Jedi, I was angry at all of them.
Well, so, like, Beautiful Creatures, it's like this, the main character's a boy, which is different, because usually, like, it'd be a woman, main character, girl. But the main character is, like, this basketball dude, and he starts falling for this girl. Her family and her turns out to be a witch, so on and so forth. They're in, like, Louisiana or something, and they have a maid in their house, the boy and his dad, and she's actually like a voodoo lady. And then, like, the librarian that was friends with his mom, who tragically passed away, she's a different character. But they combined both of those characters for no reason, and they're both very important characters. And then they just leave out his aunts, who turn out to be important later. They just ruined it.
So I think that's a good example of what I mean. Like, there are small changes to the Harry Potter movies, but it's the same story. And I don't know if you can say Beautiful Creatures was the same story.
Yeah,
right?
I suppose.
And if you could do that, then that's successful.
They did a fine enough job, but once we get to, like, Goblet of Fire, I'm gonna rip it apart. So.
I think I might switch over to thinking the books are better once we get to 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7. Those 7 had 2 movies to flesh it out.
Yeah, it had 2 movies, but most of it was, we're walking.
I remember the first one being pretty boring.
The first one's just like, we're walking, and we're walking, and we're walking, and Ron looks haggard and angry.
It would be weird, though, if they went 1, 2, 3, 4 part 1, 4 part 2, 5, 6, 7, which is what they might have needed to do to get the story. Because Goblet of Fire is not the longest book. I think Order of the Phoenix is. But Goblet of Fire has the most important stuff. Because I feel like Order of the Phoenix, they were able to leave out enough and still make the movie good.
And even, they just took out things they didn't need to in Goblet. But we'll get to that at some point. We're not going to do, like, 3 is not going to be the next episode.
Yeah. Episode 25 will not be book 3. So we have to read that and watch that. Episode 25 will probably be The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Read the book.
Watch the BBC thing.
Yeah, watch the movie, discuss those. It was going to be this episode, but we decided to push it back a week because we need more time to watch those and digest.
Yeah, because the BBC thing's like 3-4 hours
long. It's ridiculous. It's pretty much a stage play that they filmed. It's what the outfits and stuff look like.
Yeah.
So, be excited for that. And then we have...
If you care.
Yeah, if you care. And then we have Prince Caspian and Voyage of Dawn Treader.
Sure. There might be a BBC one to that too, but I don't know if we need to.
No, please don't
watch that.
Could you imagine if they did the Lord of the Rings treatment for Harry Potter, and you had to watch 8 4-hour-long movies? Like if they did the Harry Potter movies, like they did Lord of the Rings, where Peter Jackson was like, everything in that book is going on screen. Everything. This movie is 5 hours long. I don't care. Everything. We're filming it all.
I would have been okay with it. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of other people would have been
okay.
Maybe.
I mean, but it is a kids movie.
I suppose, but they don't stay kids movies.
Well, the books don't either.
No.
But I feel like Lord of the Rings, like as a book, is like high literature. You know, it's hard to read. You know,
high literature.
Yeah, like you have to be determined to read Lord of the Rings, and I feel like maybe you need to have that mindset to watch the movies too, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm kind of glad they didn't go with the impossible to watch 5-hour cuts of Harry Potter.
Sure.
So let's get on into our closing thoughts and Kita's Corner. What does Kita want us to know today?
Kita would like everyone to know that she wants more wet food.
Mm-hmm.
She always wants more wet food.
She's not looking forward to going to the vet.
No, she's going to the vet on the 30th.
Yeah, which is tomorrow if you listen to this on Free Feeds.
She's going to be very upset.
Mm-hmm.
Probably sulk for a while.
Sulk?
But she's got to go to the vet.
Yep.
Just for a checkup. Don't worry, she's fine.
Yeah, she's got to get her booster shots for whatever.
She'd also like to remind everyone to please spay and neuter your pets and to adopt from a pet shelter whenever possible, especially a kitten for her mama.
Seems like a very personal request. Did Kita write that?
Yeah, Kita wrote it. She wants a kitten friend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe once we move we can get it one. I don't think a kitten's going to be too good. Like, we have to get it here, get it acquainted to this house and us, and then move it in like 6 months. I don't want to put it through that, so we'll just adopt one when we move.
Fine.
And now let's get on to our interesting fact. I went through a list of interesting Harry Potter facts, and I picked out ones that either talk about the series in general or talk about the specific movies. I got 2. So I'll talk about the first one, you talk about the second one. Sound good?
Sure.
The first one is Harry Potter was initially supposed to be directed by Steven Spielberg, who left after him and J.K. Rowling had creative differences. And I would have loved to see what that would have been, though I feel like it would have been more of a cookie-cutter blockbuster. I feel like Spielberg nails that.
Maybe. I feel like it could have been more, like, adult as well.
Maybe. I don't know. Steven Spielberg does make adult films, but he seems very like he tries to go towards kids too.
I don't know. Whatever the creative differences were, I would like to know what the creative differences are between the two. But it could have been that he wanted it to be more of a dark sort of telling of it.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I wouldn't think Spielberg would have wanted to sign on for 7, 8 films. So I'm guessing he would have wanted to make Harry Potter in a couple films, the whole story. I feel like that might have been what he wanted to do, because I cannot see someone like Steven Spielberg signing on to do 7 films in a franchise.
Did they only have one director? I thought they had a few directors.
No, what I'm saying is initially he was going to be the guy to make Harry Potter. They weren't going to change directors. They ended up having 4 directors. Christopher Columbus did 1 and 2. Someone else did 3. Someone else did 4. And then David Yates did 5, 6, 7. 7 part 2.
I don't know. I feel like they weren't like, Steven Spielberg, do you want 8 movies to direct? I don't think anyone, they would have gone to anyone with that. I think they were just like, first movie. And then it just wasn't going to work out.
Yeah. But I do have a sneaking suspicion that John Williams probably signed on for the movies then. because him and Steven Spielberg worked dead on everything Spielberg does. So Williams was probably like, I'll do it. And then he was like, I'll still do it. I'm going to give you a banger.
He was like, I already wrote half this song.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wonder if John Williams, maybe once he dies in a generation or so, will be up there in the conversation with great composers like Beethoven or Mozart. Because John Williams is excellent.
Possibly.
Maybe just him not being 600 years old hurts him.
I think it also probably hurts him that his stuff is, he's not composing for symphonies, you know?
I think he might do that. I mean, he's the leader of the London Symphony, or at least it was.
Yeah,
but he's known for movies.
Yeah, he's known for his movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, people listen to just the soundtracks
Which
all the time.
People know John Williams scores more than they know anything by any other composer. I will guarantee that. You play them the Star Wars theme, the Superman theme, Harry Potter theme, Jaws theme, Indiana Jones, any of those. People know those more than they know Beethoven's Fifth.
The second fact is that Peeves was actually supposed to be in the Sorcerer's Stone. He had parts, they had it filmed, he was cast, but the director cut it because they didn't like how it looked. And I'm like, but you liked the CGI Harry Potter?
Yeah.
You liked how that looked?
Maybe it was like, it wasn't CGI, it was the makeup they went with, and just when he saw it edited together, he was like, we can't do this.
He signed off on it on first, and they filmed stuff.
Maybe him and the guy actually didn't get along, and this is the story they tell. I know the guy who played Peeves said that he couldn't work with the children actors because when they try to film scenes together, they couldn't keep their composure. They would always start laughing. So they eventually filmed those scenes where he was just talking to no one, and then they edited it so it seemed like they were looking at each other.
Well, I know the child actors like Daniel Radcliffe and them, they were actually scared of the man who played Severus Snape, Alan Rickman.
Yeah, Alan Rickman. Yeah,
they were actually scared of Alan Rickman.
Well, he's
because he's very like intimidating.
Yeah.
In a way, but I feel like he was a nice guy.
I wonder what he was like. Here's the question I wonder about children actors. To make sure they give good performances, do you think he had to treat them like Snape when they weren't filming so they wouldn't ever think, oh, he's just Alan Rickman? I bet they might have to do that. It's like, dude, you can't be nice to these kids off scene. They'll start not being scared around you, because for them to give good performances, they have to actually be scared of you.
Yeah, I think, if I remember correctly, I heard a story that eventually, once they got older, Alan Rickman let one of them, like, hang out in his car for a bit, and he spilled something in his car, and he was like, you're never allowed in my car again. Get out.
Let's say this, okay? Out of the first two films, and we'll do this each time we do this, who gives the best performance? Well, let's break it down by film. First film. Who gives the best performance in the first film?
I don't know. I think probably Alan Rickman.
Maybe.
He's just like he just never smiles. He just always seems angry.
He nails it. I might have to give it to Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Just because this Dumbledore, you only have 2 chances to pick him.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to pick him for Chamber of Secrets. So I might give it to Dumbledore for Sorcerer's Stone as best performance.
Sure.
Because I think Gilderoy Lockhart gives the best performance.
In Gilderoy Lockhart, he's so good.
I mean, I hate him. I hate the character.
You hate him because he's so full of himself, but you're like, this man can't be real. You know? Like, this can't be how this man actually is. He's just so full of himself, and he's, like, so pompous for being so incompetent, and it just goes, he thinks he's the most amazing person in the room. He thinks he's more famous than Harry Potter. Yeah. You know, he's fantastic.
Yeah, I think Gilderoy Lockhart gives the best performance in the second movie. And I'm going to give it to Dumbledore in the first movie.
Sure. Because
the guy who played Dumbledore in the first 2 films is excellent. Because, I mean, it might be because he was older than the other guy they get. But he just gives off this old, wise performance, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't really do much. He's kind of slow and soft-spoken. And seeing him act like that, but knowing that the main bad guy, Lord Voldemort, is scared of only one man, and it's this old dude right here who looks like he can't run.
Yeah.
He needs a walker to get around. Lord Voldemort's scared of this guy. It just makes you feel like, wow, what can he actually do once he gets going? It's like watching Yoda get around on the cane. It's like, he's the greatest to ever live. What can he do? And I think he gives off that performance, and he seems more caring with Harry.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, from the top of my head, I think that the third movie is the only one without Voldemort. The first one you've got...
Are we counting Tom Riddle as Voldemort?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see.
The first one, you've got Voldemort on the back of Quirrell's head.
Mm-hmm.
Second one,
Tom Riddle.
You've got Tom Riddle. Third one is like Peter Pettigrew's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mix in Sirius Black there as well.
Fourth one,
you've got Voldemort. Fifth one, Voldemort shows up at the Ministry and does battle with Dumbledore.
Oh, that's that one.
Yeah. Sixth one is Half-Blood Prince. And
does Voldemort show up at the end to take over the school?
Voldemort shows up in flashbacks. So you see, like, young Tom Riddle.
Yeah. I guess that counts.
That counts.
And obviously he's in 7 because the Battle of Hogwarts.
Yeah.
I wonder when we're going to give it to Voldemort as best actor in a movie.
Probably not 8. He does the ha-ha! Nobody likes that.
I know who I'm going to pick for 3.
I know who I'm picking for 3.
I mean, we're going to watch the movie again. I'm going to say I bet it's Sirius Black for me.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
He's my favorite character. So. And Gary Oldman's awesome.
I mean, I do love, like... I feel bad that I'm not choosing Hagrid. I feel like Hagrid's just, like, in the background, but he does, like, a great job.
Yeah, everyone that gets great. 4. I'm about to watch that one. It might be Voldemort. Voldemort's 4.
Goblet. Might be Voldemort, but he does the ha-ha thing again.
It's his thing. That's what he does.
Could give it to, like...
Harry?
Barty Crouch Jr.
Oh, Mad-Eye?
Mad-Eye?
It would be... Since I want... That's the actor who plays Mad-Eye giving that performance.
Yes.
So I would give it to Mad-Eye. Maybe. But
also David.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch these again for me to remember. I'm pretty sold on Sirius, though.
Sure.
Because Gary Oldman's great.
Yeah.
And you can never tell he's in a movie. He looks completely different. I don't know how his method is for getting into a role. I don't think he's like a method actor.
I don't think so.
But you can't tell he's in a movie. You're like, man, that doesn't look like Gary Oldman, but I think that is.
Is that Gary Oldman?
Yeah. So
Crazy.
He's great. So thanks for listening to this episode, guys. Be sure to check out Lion Witch in the Wardrobe next week. We have a back catalog now, 23 other episodes. We've almost been going for 6 months.
It's exciting.
I don't know what we're going to do for our 26th episode. Maybe a little bit.
Probably nothing.
Nothing?
Probably nothing.
I think maybe we'll have a discussion at the end to see what episodes have been our most popular.
Sure.
How the show's going. So we might do that. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye!
Nerds at Odds is made possible by our supporters over on patreon.com/nerdsatodds. If you want to become a member of our community and gain access to the show 4 days early, gain the ability to submit your questions, comments, and concerns, and so much more, consider supporting us over there. Thank you, and have a great day.